So now what we want to do is make a method in the point class that actually does a job. Okay, and so what is the job that it should do? Well, remember, if we look at our graph, right? Here is our x, and here is our y. Well, the point that we created is 3 on the x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the y. So this is the point that we created, right, in our program, or at least I did, 3, 5. So this P object has an x of 3 and a y of 5. Okay. What about if I wanted to make a method that reflected the point around the x-axis? Okay. And so what does reflect on the x-axis mean? It means if I take this piece of paper, right, let's say this is a piece of paper here, and I folded it right here on the x-axis, right, where would this point land down here? That's what it means to reflect a point around an axis, right? And I want to reflect this point around the x-axis. Okay, well, where would it land? Well, it would land right over here, right? Because we went 5 up, if we fold on the x-axis, it's going to go 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay. So this point here is 3, 5. This point here is 3, negative 5, right? If we reflect on the x-axis. So how do we make the change? Well, the y of the point needs to turn negative. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Let's go over to our point class, and let's make a new function definition. The way that I like to do it is I always keep my constructor at the top of the list of methods. I keep my str at the bottom of my list of methods, and everything else I put in between the two. So I say def reflect x, like that. You'll notice that the self is automatic, right? And I'm going to put an underscore here. Self automatically appears because in order to run any of these methods, you have to have self. You have to have an object of this class, right? Okay. So what am I going to do here? Well, if I run reflect x using p, I want my p point to have a x of 3 and a y of not 5, but negative 5. So how can I do that? Well, I come over here and I say self.y is equal to self.y, but not self.y. I want it to be negative. Okay, great. And also I see a little thing I can fix right here, right? Right here, I don't need the s variable. I could just return the string that I created. Are you okay with that? So this looks a lot cleaner. So let's go ahead and do that, right? Just return the string. Okay. So, but anyways, reflect x is going to take the object that's calling the method, and it's going to flip the sign of the y, right? And that's what it should do, right? If we reflect on the x, that's what we're doing. We're flipping the sign of the y of the point. Okay, so let's see if it works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start by printing p, right, which is running the str method. I am then going to say p dot reflect x. Right. Notice here that there are no arguments besides self, no arguments. So I'm not giving any arguments. And then after I reflect x, I'm going to print p again. And let's see if the change actually took place. Okay. So when it prints here, what should print out? Well, 3, 5. Right. I run reflect x. It's going to jump up to line 6. And self is the object calling the method. Well, what is the object calling the method? Well, we called it right here. Right. Line 18 says p object is calling reflect x. P object is calling reflect x. So when it jumps up to line 6, self is p, the object calling the method. Right? Then when it gets down to line 7, it's saying, okay, the p's y is equal to the p's y, but negative. So if it was 5, it's now equal to -5. Okay, and then when this finishes, that means reflect x has finished. It returns to where reflect x was called. Returns right back here to line 18, and it does 19, nothing there. Does line 20, which is print p. Right? What runs when we print the object? Well, what runs is the str method. So then it's going to jump up to line 9, return this string with the new instance variable values for x and y, and return it right there and print it out to the screen. Alright, let's go ahead and run that. See that? It works. So here's the original values of the point. I run reflect x, and then here are the new values of point. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that, and maybe a challenge exercise here would be to create another function definition called reflect y.